Okay, looks like we are live and operational. Hopefully everything's working okay. Let me just sort this volume out. Here we go. EDDBUD here. Welcome to Livestream 53 on the channel. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my recovery from getting COVID, getting the virus. It's pretty horrible, really. I've got to say. It really did knock me for six. Oh, yeah. Although that kind of sounds like it's a good thing. It's not at all. And also I'll answer a load of viewer questions as well. I want to get straight into one very quickly. Richard Rendell. You're always here, Richard. I appreciate your support for the channel. He's mentioned that some pics that he received, well, he didn't receive them. Richard, you're on the Adidas website on the app. And every now and then it gives you these kind of... I guess, images of new shoes that you can look at and sort of say what you think of them. So you can give them a star rating, like between 1 and 5 or something. And some popped up of a new SL model. And it looks as if one of the guys at Adidas, I think he's UK based, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure where he is. I just had a quick look on Google. Nick Roche? He reckons they're fake, but yeah, they've been given, they're being sent out by the Adidas app, so I would assume that they are not fake, and then that's a shoe that is coming at some point in the near future. It's kind of funny, really. I guess there's communication breakdowns about things sometimes. Maybe, you know, there's a shoe being worked on, produced somewhere, but people haven't been told about it yet. Who knows? Very, very odd. Let's do some hellos. While we get the chance. I don't know if Daniel Carver might still be here. No, I don't do that on the live streams. It's just me. Greg Previtt's in the house. Richard Rendell again. Awesome. Thanks for your support, Richard. I really appreciate it. Always watch the videos. Always watching all the content and always commenting. It's really amazing. Thank you. You've been there for a long time. And the same goes for Cheeks to 777 as well in the house. I don't know what I'd do without you guys. Always helping, supporting the channel. Rob Weatherall's here. You may well be watching the snooker though, which is a very appropriate thing to be doing on a Sunday bank holiday here in the UK. Hope you've all been having a great weekend. We got Steve. He says, evening midsole maniacs. And that is exactly the sort of thing that we are here. That is a very good description, Steve. And we got Stephen C, 1984. He says, hi, and everyone else. Good to see you here, Stephen. Bonjour, I should say. Who else do we have here? We have Pierre Tugot. Sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. Perriette, sorry. Pierre, is it Pierre? I'm not sure. Hello there. Thank you for tuning in and being with us today. It means a lot. And we got Darren Bray. Who else do we have? Hawaii Frankie says hello. So, we also have Peter Smallcombe. Thanks for joining us, Peter. Not seen your name in there before. Good to have you here. And there is now like 100 other ones that I have got to try and catch up with. Who else have we got? Robin, one of our members, is in the house. Robin, thanks for your support. With being a member of the channel, it really does help the shoes to keep flowing in, and it is much appreciated. Mo Lester, just broke 40 minutes for 5k. What daily trainer do you reckon for increasing the mileage? I've got to say, and people often shot me down about this and said, Ed, you know, you've got some chip on your shoulder about this shoe, but the Invincible Run is a great shoe for that. If you want to increase your mileage, but you want to lessen the fatigue, that is a great shoe. Steve says the Adios Pro 3 looks nice. I've just been finishing off a video on that one, Steve, or at least I've got the footage collected and ready to edit, so that will be popping up later on. Keep your eyes peeled, maybe about 11ish, maybe if I get my skates on I should be able to get it there. Peter is here. He says, hi Edward, hey, how you doing? Glad to see you join us here. Tom Clowes is here. He said he can't wait for the new SL. Yeah, it does look really great. The dog is upset down there. I think the dog's hurt his leg, actually. We need to keep an eye on that. He's hurt one of his back legs. He's getting on a bit now. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Matt Strickland says, howdy Ed, howdy there. We got Dave. He says, hi Ed, Midsole Bud. Yeah, it's sort of Ed, sort of tired Bud today. I had a gig last night. it's like the third comeback basically, because you've had COVID, lockdowns, all this type of stuff. Doing my shoulder in October last year. It's like literally every time we get to this point where we come back, something else happens and we're off again. But yeah, it was good to be back yesterday, but really tired today, really exhausted, standing up for 2.5 hours and shifting loads of boxes around. It's a young man's game, and a young man and more. Well, reasonably young, I suppose. Mark T Running is in the house. We got Chris McLean as well. He says, good evening, fellow shoe enthusiasts. There's just so many people here. Orange Goblin, we've got, who else is in? Ewan's here, Kyle is here. Carl's over in South Africa, amazing. Mark T's loving the Vomero 16s. I'm glad those are doing the trick. I really enjoyed my pair. I think my wife wants to get some running shoes and get out there again and do a little bit. So I might pick up a pair of those for her. I think they'd be ideal. She doesn't want anything too squashy, but just something that's reasonably forgiving. And you got to say, Mark, they smell good too. They just make the room smell better. A little bit like a Class A valve amplifier. You just get a wonderful smell of the wood, the Tolex and the glue. It just sort of drifts around. It's a good thing. And of course, you can use valve amplifiers as heaters. If you don't want to turn the heating on in your house, you can do that. If you are in the yeah, great stuff, Ed. If you're in the chat, make sure you hit that like button. It really does help us out here. And if you've got a question that you're dying for me to answer, do hit us up with the super chat. It does help, even if it's a couple of quid or something. It really helps the channel keep on flowing in terms of those shoe reviews and gear reviews. We've got some odd stuff coming up over this next week. Some different things. Beast, what are you doing? Oh, God. I'll deal with that in a minute. Where's the Beast? Darren Bray says, where's the Beast? The Beast is here. The Beast is causing havoc. It's about to do so. What are you doing? It looks like it's going to pounce at something, so I hope I haven't got a mouse in here or something. That's the last thing we need is a mouse. Richard Rendell says, done an 8-mile run in the New Balance Fuelcell TCs, now drinking a glass of red. That sounds good, Richard. I might do a similar thing a little bit later on. Because I'm really hungry, because I kind of forgot to have dinner. Yeah, that's probably why I feel a little bit tired. We also have Ian Lowe. He says, come on, you Gunners. Yeah, it was a really good victory today. Cheekster as well. Come on, you Gunners. Great 2-1 victory against a depleted West Ham squad today. They looked a little bit tired, West Ham, probably from their exploits during the week in the Europa League. They're very low on the ground as well in terms of numbers in the squad at the moment. Lots of injuries, so I hope West Ham can still do something. They're a bit off the pace now in terms of the league, though. Got to look out for Spurs. They're up there. Spurs, yeah, they're close. 2 points ain't much, and of course it's Arsenal Spurs in a couple of weeks' time. Right, let's have a quick look at what questions we got here. Dave's picked up the Pegasus 39s. Yeah, they're just over here. I'm really enjoying these so far. Really enjoying them. What does Dave say? A bit grippier than the 38. Yes, I've noticed that. Actually, on gravel, and make this wonderful sound. Really sort of crunchy, crispy sound. It really is quite addictive. I was actually aiming for little areas of gravel and dirt and stuff. They just sound fantastic, don't they? On that. Really grippy and some great traction. I'm convinced this stuff's a little softer as well, the React here. It definitely feels different to the last one. That was quite firm. In fact, I have the last one here. Let's have a little feel here. Yeah, it feels like even the outer of the midsole here on the 38 just feels a little bit sort of more rubbery, I suppose. There's definitely something different about them. They're not the same. React is not the same thing. You can get your durometer things out and test them, but put them on foot, they'd feel different to me. Absolutely. Paul says, what do I think about the PT? I'm not sure what he means there. PT, am I missing? I'm not sure. Let me know. Antoine says, hello from France. Hope you get better soon. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better actually now, Antoine. To be honest, it took maybe, let's think, it's like 3 weeks since I first got COVID. And I was clear from tests and things after about 9 days. I managed to get back out there, do some running. But yeah, heart rate was probably about 5 to 10 beats per minute higher than what I would expect from a specific pace or effort. So it certainly took a toll on me from that aspect. I kept the mileage lower. I've slowly moved it back up. So I think we did about 35 miles last week, 38 miles this week, and I'll just slowly bring it back. There's no point just going hell for leather, putting your foot down and, you know, trying to do it that way. That's not going to work, and it never works for running if you try to do that. I've seen too many people, you know, ratchet the mileage right back up and just get injured, and that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the longevity, you know. I've got nothing to prove to anyone about pace or speed or anything like that. I just enjoy running. That's the difference. So it is I am getting there. I feel like my lungs are kind of back to where they were before now, and certainly the pace is returning. Today I took the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite out. Just hit it for five or so miles, just some sort of 8 minutes per mile pace. And then threw in some 400-meter repeats at just above my half marathon pace, and it felt good today. So I think we're back on it now. That's a good couple of weeks of running just to get back to where I felt that I used to be. Marnian has said, greetings Ed, just ordered the Adios 6 based on your reviews. Hope everything's well. Yeah, great. I'm glad those are hopefully going to do the trick for you. I found you need a few runs to kind of beat them up a little bit, and they start to flex and feel really nice underfoot. You just need to give a little bit in the midsole. Ian Lowe says, day 3 since positive test and feel terrible. Yeah, I felt really rough, Ian, for probably about 4 days. Then it's like someone flicked a switch and I felt like doing things again. You know, just getting online and sort of answering some comments and questions and things like that. But it did take some time. I really did feel quite rough for about 4 days. And then it lingered for a long time. I could feel it on my lungs. My sinuses and everything felt really bunged up. And I felt really congested. And that started to shift, and I found running helped, but keeping the pace nice and low when you do come back. So just no one's got anything to prove, have they, to anybody? You don't have to go out there and just hammer it. Just get out there, get some fresh air, and I found that, in fact, made me feel a lot better. And getting some fresh air and working the body a little bit. So I hope you feel better soon, Ian. My heart goes out to you on that one, and anybody that does sadly come into contact with it, because it's even after, you know, being triple vaccinated, I still felt rough. So yeah, rough. We got some interesting stuff going on here. So Mark T says, can we talk about the Zoom Fly 5? Yeah, I might do a little refresher video on that one. I did one a little while back on what I thought the shoe was looking like, at least. It does seem like that might again use those scraps of Zoom X around some sort of carrier. So Nike are going all in on that at the moment, which is an odd one, isn't it? Where we've had these sort of fresh Zoom X midsoles in all the shoes up to now, and now they're switching to this kind of Zoom X scraps type situation. Does make you wonder whether there's something else coming down the line, and any shoes they're getting returned, perhaps with Zoom X in and chopping them up, maybe using those parts up first, and then they're going to launch something else that's perhaps got a little bit more energy return. You know, Nike are always going to be working on something brand new. Brandon says, hi from New York, just picked up the Adios 6. I haven't wanted to run anything else. There you go. Adios 6 is one of those great shoes last year. Brilliant. Just firm but compressive. It just does lots of things very well. I felt I could use it as a daily trainer. You could use it to race in, perhaps if you're doing some 5 or 10Ks. Some people said to me, oh, it's too heavy, you know. Well, 280 grams, that's light. You know, pretty much all running shoes are light, aren't they, no matter what. If you compare it to something like the Tailwind or something like that, this thing's pretty heavy, and people used to run marathons in those. So yeah, these days I think we're spoilt for choice, and it's a little bit like the Princess and the Pea. You can feel like the tiniest little changes and things. I think all run shoes pretty light these days. It's kind of gone down in my sort of order of importance, I suppose, weight these days. More about comfort and more about how the shoe feels underfoot. Let's have a little look, see what else we got here. Well, Richard Rendell says a Colchester United fan first and foremost. We do have a super chat there from Matt Strickland. Thank you very much, Matt. He's become a dad again since the last live stream. Well, that's allowed to name him Midsole, though. Fantastic. Thanks for your support on that one, Matt. I hope you're getting some sleep. I hope you're sort of lucky as we are with young Fergus here. He's a good sleeper. He literally 7 o'clock through to 7. The guy just sleeps. He's a real wonder. And he's very interested in shoes as well. Anytime I open a shoe box, which is quite often, he wants to look at the shoes and like examine them and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah. So we know, you know, in 20 years' time or something that he will take over from me as the family business, you know. Mo Lester says, what is Beast's favourite shoe? Beast's favourite shoe at the moment is the Pegasus 39. It seems particularly interesting. Every time it's around, Beast will go to that shoe, start to smell it, start to sort of rub her head all over it and stuff, which, you know, is a sign that it's a good shoe. And clearly Beast can detect that the React used in the midsole is a little bit different to some of the ones before. I think that's what she's trying to tell us there, maybe. Maybe I'm reading a bit too much into that. Just going back to Matt Strickland, I wish you all the best with your new arrival, Matt. And yeah, I hope everything's going well. It's just about a time of banking sleep. When there's a new person around, just got to sleep when you can. That's my only advice. I think all kids are different, aren't they? Those of you that are in the chat, they've got kids and stuff. They're all different. You can give everyone all the advice under the sun, but yeah, bank that sleep. It's the only way. Ozinfant Backtrows, one of our members, is in the house. Says, good evening, Ed. Thanks for supporting the channel, buddy. It's really, really appreciated. I hope you've been enjoying the videos recently, trying to mix it up as much as possible. And yeah, keep on a real positive tip, because in the world at the moment, there's lots of things happening that, you know, you can dwell on and they can get you down. But you got to keep positive, because that's what life's about, isn't it? It's being positive, enjoying the things that we do, and inspiring others to enjoy the things they do as well, and joining in with that as well, saying, hey, well done for, you know, getting a new PB on the 10k. That's fantastic. You know, enjoy that feeling. That is life, isn't it? If we don't do those things, then we're not alive. So yeah, going off into a sort of positive sort of talk at the moment. Yeah, let's have a little drink of squash here. It's good. It is good. Geraldo says, hi Ed, he's on second pair of Pro 2s, but seem to be really liking and leaning on the Prime X. Oh, the Prime X. Where have I got the other shoe? No, it's hidden away somewhere. That shoe. I'm so glad I picked it up. To think that I wasn't going to try it. That I was just going to pass it by and just, you know, some sort of like comedy shoe. Like a, what's the word? A novelty, I suppose. Like a Jive Bunny and the Master Mixers track, you know. What a great shoe. It's addictive though, you see, wearing the Prime X. And I have to say, I would avoid wearing the Prime X on country lanes and stuff. Especially here in the UK, there's just potholes everywhere. And yeah, that's my only worry about it. It's just that little bit too high, and I'm pretty high already. So it'll be interesting to see what that Pro 3 is like, whether they incorporate a few sort of ideas from the Prime X into that one. What about Adidas trail shoes? I think it's a Pierre. I'm not sure if that, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I haven't tried out any of those, but I think I might. I might do a trail like compendium sort of thing, because I've got 2 trail shoes I need to try out this week. In fact, tomorrow morning I'm getting out there 7 or 8 miles trails to test out the Terracotta 8. I need to do that. The shoe is still here. I feel really bad for it. Like, it's been hanging around. I need to test it out because there's a load of viewers that really want to see what I think of it. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. That's happening. That's it. Cheekster says, do a tour of the London Stadium at some point this year. Yeah, my good buddy James, he's a season ticket holder for West Ham, so yeah. Well, it's been a good season. They're not going to win anything, but it's fine. I'm joking now. I'm sure they'll be fine in Europe. They'll turn it round. Darren Bray says, don't really do a good trail shoes. And I've seen, yeah, it'd be interesting to try out something trail-wise from Adidas. But I do like my Innovate ones for trails. They seem to hit the spot for me, just in terms of the feel, the weight, everything is good. Paul Delaney says, what do you think about the Pro 2 having a medial lean? I tend to wear out the outsole. I've not really seen much wear on my Pro 2s. I took one up to about 100. Then I got a pair that was a half size lower. And yeah, those have been fine. I don't really feel they do that for me. They feel like quite an efficient shoe for me. Timothy Brammer says Speed 3. Yeah, I will be keen to test the Speed 3 out at some stage in the near future. Although I think it's quite a departure, isn't it, from what we've had before in the original and the Speed 2. I need to get some more miles into my pair of the Speed 2s. I've been using them more on a daily basis really recently, so I'll get back into those. Wear them down a little bit. Tenshi says, the Vaporfly is a daily shoe. Interesting one. Now, I think that if the shoe works for you from a perspective of you're not getting some sort of issue with your legs using the Vaporfly, on a daily basis, then great. Some people, I think it's going to change how they run a little bit too much. And if you use it on a daily basis, well, that might push you over the edge into injury. So with me, I kind of slowly incorporated those types of shoes, and I seem to be able to run in pretty much anything, really. Aside maybe the Zoomfly 4, that just felt terrible to me. I really wasn't too keen on that one. Big Bang saying, so recovered from the virus 3 months ago and broke personal best in a month. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm feeling good now. I felt good today. At those faster paces, I incorporated some slightly longer recoveries in today, just being sensible really, with my sort of Spock hat on, just thinking be logical here, do the logical thing rather than just burn out, too far in. And I was also quite away from home as well, so I knew I had to get back, so I didn't want to use up everything I had. But I felt good. It took me a long time to get out to the door today though, guys. I was sat there for a long time procrastinating, saying, oh, I'm a bit tired, I'll just sit here for a little while and, watch some Star Trek and some, YouTube videos. Foamer Simpson is one of my favourite channels, Mr. Foamer Simpson. Just watching some sneaker reviews and stuff. And then I fell asleep for a little while. So, yeah, you see me do some miles throughout the week on Strava and stuff. And I try to keep very sort of routine with my running. But yeah, today it was tough. I was looking after Master Fergus yesterday. And gig in the evening, I was tired. So it took me a long time. And I needed some extra sleep to get the energy levels back up. Fanta Fleskdope. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. They're really testing me today, guys, with the usernames. I'm not really out of my comfort zone here. So I'm suggesting trying to get consistent long nights of sleep when recovering from COVID. Yeah, absolutely. Recovery is key. Getting some really good sleep. I was going to sleep like at 9, half 9, and getting some extra hours in. That really helped out. Taj is in the house. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing fine. Stephen C says new 5k PB this week. Fantastic. Aimed for sub 20 for the first time and ended up with 18:45. Absolutely on the money, Stephen. Brilliant. Thinking of attempting a mile time trial next. Is this something I've ever done or considered? Yeah, I think I might give it a bash actually. Maybe give it a week or two just so I'm right back to the top level. Where I was before, I guess that's kind of the top level I've been. It's the best I've felt, certainly. So yeah, I might give it a bash. I do need to do a 5k time trial soon, see where I am in terms of fitness. So well done, and that's a great time. If I can get close to that, I'd be over the moon. But yeah, I'm not quite there yet. Got to keep on pushing, see what we can do. Let's try and get to some of these questions here. Howard S. says, how do you train and stretch your hamstrings? I tend to do a little routine before I go out, even if it's like just a 3-mile easy effort. I'll still spend 5 to 10 minutes just doing some dynamic stretches. The legs, the hips, that's the big one for me, is trying to sort of open the hips up a little bit, get some movement there. With the job I do, I tend to be sat around quite a lot at a desk, so that's the destroyer for mobility. So I really like to try and get some stretches in, even if it's just a short run. If it's a longer run, I'll spend a little bit more time. What else we've got going on here? Darren Bray's enjoying the grip on the Adios 6. Yeah, it is good. I really do enjoy that shoe, just from multiple points of view, really. Richard Rendell, Ed, do I use any supplements? I take some vitamins, but that's about it, really. Then just try to eat reasonably, not overeat. I tend to need to eat regularly. I tend to have a snack here or there, but I try to stick to fruit if I can. But yeah, custard cream biscuits are they're my downfall. They're my Achilles heel. If there's a pack of those in the house, they don't last very long. I love those biscuits, and a nice cup of coffee or something. I could do with some of those biscuits right now, actually. That would be good. Jack D, guys in the community, does anyone have a recommendation for a trail 5k or off-road park run shoe? I've got a real feeling that I'm going to really enjoy the Park Claw from Innovate. Do check that out. I will be reviewing that later this week. I need to get up to Mudford Rec, which is a big grassy field with some decent elevations up and down. To test that one out, but Jack D, do check that one out. It could hit the spot. Howard S says, do I have a podcast yet? Not yet, but I will be adding that to the arsenal very soon. I've got a little setup in here now that I can knock out some podcasts with some good quality. That's what I want. I want it to be reasonable quality always, so the voice is an important part of that. Hopefully it's coming through nice and clear now, actually. I've managed to get the mic a little nearer. It's literally like there. You can't quite see it, but it's just there. So hopefully the quality is still top notch. We do have a super chat from Steve H. Thank you very much, Steve. That is much appreciated. Showing support for the channel. Love the content and watch your videos. Thank you very much. I put a lot of effort into them, so I'm glad they're giving you some enjoyment. I recently picked up the Sen 8 and the Prime X. I can't run at the moment though because I've hurt his knee. I hope you are on the road to recovery, Steve, very soon. And maybe the Prime X will help you to get through that knee issue. But do make sure that you focus on that recovery first. Enjoy those shoes secondary. But thank you very much for the super chat and helping the channel out. It's really, really kind of you. IP says he used to run the Tailwind. It was a wobbly but not heavy. Yeah, I might run in them at some point just to see how it feels to run in that type of shoe from back then. I think if I'm right in saying that there is a full length air unit in here, but it's impossible to know without kind of actually deconstructing the shoe a little bit. It does look like there's something in there. Yeah, there is. Crazy. Yeah, I'll do it and see what happens. On a dry day, though, because there's a lot of suede on that one. I don't want to destroy it. Taj says he found that using heart rate as a guide to start training again after recovering from COVID worked well. Yeah, absolutely agree with you 100% there, buddy. That was the teller where I feel like I've got back to where I was before, that sort of effort level, doing runs and routes that I've done on a regular basis. I could judge where I was, and yeah, I feel like I'm back there now. Timothy Brammer reckons the Terex Speed Ultra is light and quick for off-road and distance. That's his muddy park run shoe. Yeah, we all need one of those. Randon Lewis says, do I use Stride? I am looking at picking up a Stride pod later this month, so probably towards the end of May. And yeah, so I can get some more metrics, really, and just examine, you know, a couple of things in terms of watches. There's some watch reviews coming up. The Epics from Garmin. That will be this week, guys. I'm just finishing off that review, actually. There's quite a lot of stuff in this watch that I really want to sort of relay to you. Lots of interesting features and functions, and I'm really impressed so far about the GPS accuracy here and the ability to change the accuracy levels depending on the sort of power battery usage, which is really cool. Scott said he'd like to meet Fergus. He's a very loud little chap. That may be soon, actually. I'll see if I can get him on somehow. Maybe in a video. He can do it. We'll do a, you know, a shoe review, and he can shout at the camera while looking at the shoes. Steve there giving you a little bell, Stephen C, for your PB. Fantastic stuff. Andy Seal says, hello, Beast. I'm not sure where Beast has gone. Beast was here. Hang on. No sign of Beast. Completely disappeared. Always disappears when the chips are down. Ah! Poirot. Is that how we should say it? Ah, so I think it's Poirot. Sorry about that. Poirot. That's a cool name. Darren Bray says, cheers, mate. The second came 20th. They gave me an old GPX file, so I ended up doing 40 odd and not 37. Ah, okay. Let's see what other questions we got going on here. Yeah, Mo Lester says trails will cure what else. Yeah, yeah. I think that is very true. Getting out sometimes just into nature is really nice. There's something that really bugs me these days about, like, it's just loads and loads of people everywhere, cars everywhere. Even on some of the country lanes, you just can't get a, you know, clear like mile in or something without having to stop or, you know, avoid something. So yeah, getting out on the trails could be quite pleasant actually tomorrow. Darren says he had the Parklaw 275s. I think I've got the new ones, so I'll give those a bash later in the week. Peter Solcombe says loves the Skechers Razor 3 for tempo runs. Yeah, I've got a couple of Skechers shoes. I did try out a couple of those. There's another one I got that was great. I think probably for 5Ks. Which one was it? Let me have a look. Ah, the Speed Elite. That's the one. That was super light. So I need to get back out in those, give them another bash. And it was just around the time where I got injured. So yeah, a lot of those shoes kind of got sort of pushed to the side. John Zilly's in the house. Good to see you there, John. I'm very much looking forward to testing out some of those models very soon. I hope you're doing fine, buddy. We're doing okay here. We had a bit of a tough time as a sort of family, really. Lots of things going on, but it's chilling out now, which is good. Jack D is in the house. He's going to look up those suggestions that we let him know. Awesome. Gizmend is here. It says keep up the. I'm not sure what he means there, but keep it up. I'll keep it up. Don't worry. I'll keep on going. Amado is here. Amado. He's been a supporter of the channel a long time. Some fantastic stuff Amado's been putting out, actually. I believe it's for like a podcast. Amado, you may correct me here, but I've been reading up some of those. Fantastic. Thanks for sending them over to me. It's just been manic at the moment, so sorry for not getting back in touch. Shankar says, going to run 5k under 18 minutes. Pace, would you recommend Carbon X2? No, probably not for that, actually. If you can get something a little lighter, that shoe really for me felt like it was probably going to work better for doing something over even like a marathon. So yeah, I'd probably avoid that. and try and pick up something a little lighter, perhaps a little bit more nimble on foot if you want to do your 5k, maybe look at the Takumi Sen 8 or something like that. If you can find that one, that is probably the one. Orange Goblin says, do you dunk, Ed? Not for a long while, especially with my shoulder. So I've pretty much back now, full mobility in that. But it'd be great actually to play some basketball again. I used to in my youth. I used to really enjoy it. And it's a bit of a advantage, I guess, over some people because I'm so tall. Randon is enjoying the custard creams. Yeah, they are my biscuit of choice. Chris B says, good evening, Ed, long time lurker. Awesome, thanks for tuning in and commenting today. Picked up some Ultra Escalante 2.5s on sale. Yeah, I think they're cool to mix into the rotation. You know, if you're not running a zero drop shoe before, I think that's a good starting point there to sort of get you in there. It's not awfully weird or different. I think some people are like, well, zero drop, you know, what's going to happen? It's not really that different, yeah. Darren Bray, Sen 8 is a cracking speed shoe. Yeah, that'll be my choice if you're on a sort of road or pavement part run. Absolutely brilliant. A little bit slippery, I found, on grass and things like that. But yeah, I tend to go for a more traily shoe if I'm going to do something like that. There's one local part run in Henstridge where it's part on sort of concrete and gravel, part on grass, and the RC Elite Original works really well for that. That was a killer shoe, that one. Just so sad they changed up the outsole. It still to this day haunts me that they did that. Amado's just had a nap after his 10k. It's the last 30k of a pair of Adidas Boston 9s, retiring them soon. Ah, great shoe. And again, with that one, I'm not quite sure where they were going with the Boston 10. I don't see loads of people really enjoying that shoe. I have got a video coming up soon, actually, about the Boston 10, where I've kind of done some modifications to the shoe to see if I can improve it. Yeah, I won't tell you how I got on. You'll see for yourselves in the video. Yeah, Darren, I'm not sure. It took me a little while, I suppose, to get used to the zero drop, but I didn't really find it all that different, I suppose. Yeah, I wouldn't go out and run 10 miles in them straight away or something. I think you're right there from that perspective. Maybe just, slowly integrating them in. Howard S says, cheers, Ed, not a problem. Glad to be of help. Alex Renton says, glad you're recovering from the lurgy. Appreciate your videos. Thanks for tuning in, Alex. I appreciate that. Ian H. Baltazar says, how do you run your marathons the same way? So I've only done a couple of marathon distances before, mainly a half marathon man. That's kind of weird. I'm a half marathon man. I like the sound of that. I tend to look at the course itself, actually. Look at elevation, look at the various segments of the course. Because sometimes, especially in the UK here, it's hilly like crazy. There's just hills everywhere. And you want to take in the course, understand where there's certain bits that are going to test you, and other bits where you can perhaps make up a little bit of time. So that's how I tend to run them. I always look at the actual course itself and the elevation. Darren says, have you done an ultra? No, I haven't done one of those. I may do one in the future at some point, but yeah, I need to bulk up because I'm built for those shorter distances. I think I'm just skin and bone. That's what I am. Inhalas is in the house. Thanks for tuning in. It's much appreciated seeing you here. Fabster Run. Epic Gen 2, best thing I ever bought. Yeah, I do think the watch is an absolute cracker. There's a couple little things I perhaps change on it, but it is good. I'll tell you what, one thing I love about it is the fact I can literally hit the button and within like a couple of moments it's got the GPS, which is a bit of an issue around here. There's loads of trees and cover like that, but the accuracy is spot on. And I can stick music on it as well, so I don't need to take my phone out with me all the time, which is, you know, that's good. It's a good thing. Darren Bray's loving the Vertix 2. Yes, I see where you're coming from with that one. I have 2 watches always, guys, at the moment for testing. So one set on miles, one set on kilometers, and I find that gives you a really good way of testing them out against each other, you know, for a versus battle. So yeah, it's really cool. I've got to test these 2 out. They're amazing watches. There's so many features, functions, and such. Yeah, some interesting results there. I'm not sure how Biagaz is mentioning about the Adizero rotor records. Some really good times there. Aniales says, if I'm going to be going for the stride, be sure to go for the training plans. It's a good idea to do your mile time trial when you have the stride. Yeah, yes, that power rating is the thing that I really want to get into and dig into and understand, you know, the power sort of levels I'm running at for different speeds and sort of effort levels, I suppose. Shane says, what watch do you wear in your videos? I've pretty much just answered that one without knowing it. So yeah, if you want any more details, just drop me an email or something, Shane, and I'll fill you in. Stephen H says, can't wait to try out the Prime X and Sen 8. Fizzy says to stop running for a few weeks. Yeah, do that. Absolutely get in the pool as well. So just really take it easy, Steve. Make sure you're back to 100% before. You don't want any further outages. That's the way to do it. Rice finally says, caught a stream. Good to see you here. Foxbox says, thanks Ed, hoping the shoulder is holding up okay. Yeah, it's good now. It's feeling a lot better. Been playing a lot of guitar recently as well, which really helps. Although I've found that I'm gravitating towards some of my lighter guitars. I recently got a Strat, the Nile Rodgers Hitmaker, so yeah, that's a little bit lighter again. What's the other one that I've been really enjoying? The Rickenbacker, the 330, but it's just a little lighter. Yeah, the 355, that is one heavy beast. You've got a Bigsby on there, and there's a lot of wood there. There's a solid wood block straight through the middle of that guitar, so really heavy. And I found that one these days, it wears me down a little bit. Amado's put some information up about the blog there. Guys, do go and check that out. Some awesome shoe history stuff there from Amado. It really is. If you're a shoe head like me, it's the sort of stuff that you lap up like a thirsty cat. Monil Patel says that it got £50 discount to use at Runner's Need. What would you recommend? Got 2 pairs of Vaporfly 1, 2 pairs of the 2. I guess if you maybe try out the Adios Pro 2, you know, or the Sen 8. Those are right up there in my estimation. So, Monil, do go and test those out. If you can get a hold of a pair with your discount there, that's a hefty discount as well. 50% is fantastic. Stephen C says, do I have any races planned for the rest of the year? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to check in for the Martok 10K, which is next month. So I'm really going to give that a bash. I think it's probably early June, which is the time I find most difficult to run. It's probably round about then. So yeah, I'll definitely get in on that. And I'd love to try and get in a little later, a couple of half marathons. And maybe a marathon as well. I keep getting bombarded by emails to run the London Marathon for charity. And I know you have to raise a fair bit. But I'd be up for that. I think, you know, running for a cause I truly believe in, I think that would give me an extra bit of impetus to do it. Just running it for me, you know, I know I can run marathon distance. How well could I run it? I don't know right now. Probably not as well as I could have done back in like September or October. But I think running it for a cause, that gives me something else there. There's an extra, you know, never let down type thing there. I can feel it already. Here. Like, I couldn't let people down doing it that way. So maybe I'll do that, Stephen. I think I'd like to dress, though, as a famous character from a, you know, comedy sitcom, perhaps, you know. Maybe if I could find a pair of Pan Ams as well, I'd do it as Rodney. That would be cool. Maybe with a suitcase. Maybe not with a suitcase. An empty suitcase, maybe. Richard Bingham says, why can't I find Energy X in the size 11? No stock. No, it does seem like they've just run out. Hopefully we'll get some more in soon. And hopefully there'll be some half sizes too. I did speak to my contact at Reebok about that, but there was no more information forthcoming. So let's hope that they do get those half sizes in to help out. If you're in the chat, guys, do hit that like button. It really does help us out. We're on 66 likes right now. Let's see if we can bolster that up towards 100. That would be amazing. So, yeah, do smash that like button. You know, don't smash it because, you know, you might damage your keyboard or your phone or your, I don't know, whatever it is you're viewing this on. Maybe you're viewing this on a TV. It could be perhaps that you are watching on some type of tablet. You know, don't hit it too hard because you just don't need to do that. We're already at 75 now. I've just said that. That's amazing. If you've got a question that you'd like to ask, do hit us up with a super chat as well. It helps the channel out, even if it's just a couple of quid. You know, it helps keep the lights on and the gas going and all that type of stuff that's really expensive right now. Petrol in the UK. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We don't use the car anymore. It's too expensive, you know. Don't use the car. Just put your running shoes on and go to the shops. That's the way to do it. Stephen H. He knows that people like a good bargain. And sportshoes.com, they've got 30% off the Alpha Flies. Yeah, every time I see this, I think the 2 is coming soon. It's going to be soon, surely. But they seem to be stretching it out as much as they can. Gazmen says, Ed, you're doing a great job. Honestly, I'm positively surprised. I think your channel deserves more attention. Thank you. I just try and be me, you know, and do me stuff. And if people like it and they enjoy the stuff, then that's cool. I don't sort of do the hook it ladder thing. I just like doing my thing and running. I like getting out there and trying out the shoes. I got no axe to grind. That's how I roll. What else we got coming up here? We got... is that Fat Cow? Says, hi Ed, what's your top 3 looking shoes for 2021? Can I use ones from this year as well? If so, right, okay. What have we got here? I think this is quite frankly a beautiful shoe. Just in terms of the actual appearance. It looks ridiculously bright on camera right now. But yeah, for me, this is a shoe I actually got sent by ASICS, and it was at a time when I was at a really low ebb where I was trying to come back from my shoulder injury, and they sent me this shoe, and it is fantastic. It's a beautiful thing, and it really served me well in my recent half marathon here in Yeovil. So yeah, certainly the Metaspeed Sky, I really love the way this looks too. The Reebok Energy X, the Float Ride Energy X, beautiful thing. I think the colorway is cracking as well. Everything about it I just love. It's a really nice shoe. And in terms of looks, probably the Takumi Sen 8. That is a beautiful thing. That and the Pro 2 in the Berlin colorway. Can't lose on those two. Those are my 4. I could probably come up with about 10 or something. You didn't want 10 though. You just wanted 3. What else we got here? Mo Lester says, would you mind giving a shout out to a good friend of mine, Alex, is that Kilby? Alex Kilby, recovered from a broken arm after falling in a steeplechase. No! Alex, a shout out to you. I hope you are on the mend. I'm glad you enjoy the channel as well. Not a problem, Mo. Please get back to running. Certainly that whole fall I had where I hurt my shoulder, I got off lightly, guys, with that one. But it sounds as if Alex didn't. So let's hope that you're on the mend very soon. Steve H says, will you be getting the Metaspeed Sky or the Edge Plus? I certainly wasn't invited to Malaga. I was a bit upset about that. You know, hopefully ASICS just missed me off the list or something like that. It would have been really nice to go over to Malaga, because I spent a lot of time in the past when I was a DJ in Malaga Airport eating bread rolls with ham and very, very strong coffee. So I know that place very well. It would have been awesome to go and test those out. But I'm sure they'll, maybe send me a pair to test out in the near future. Thank you, ASICS. You're fantastic and all that sort of stuff. I bow to no sponsor. Shannon says, have I got any running goals for this year? Yeah, I want to get under 19 minutes 30 on the 5k. I want to knock off some time from my 10k, and I still reckon I can get under 1:30 on a nice flat course on the half marathon. So those are my running goals, and I'm going to run a marathon later in the year as a bit of a time trial as well, unless I enter one dressed as Rodney Trotter from Only Fools and Horses. But I need to find a vintage pair of Pan Am running shoes first before I do that. So those are my running goals. That's one of my goals, actually, to find a pair of those shoes. And run a marathon in them, apparently. Yeah, that's a great idea, Ed. What a superb idea that is. Paul Delaney, thank you very much for the super chat. That really helps us out. I can eat again. I can get maybe another bottle of squash or something. I think I'm a bit dehydrated, actually. I don't think I've drank enough water and stuff after that run earlier. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Dehydration is all around us, and the feeling grows. Yeah. What was going on there? Shane recently got a pair of the Nike Air Zoom Next Percent based on... I get Air Zoom... Do you mean the Tempo Next Percent? I'm not sure which ones you mean there. Maybe the Tempo Next Percent? I love that shoe. That was a great shoe. It was the sort of shoe that you put on, and there's no easy running in that one. It was just hammer down. Go for it. And I really, really enjoyed that shoe. Al Borum says, would you run a marathon for Hamster Rights? Absolutely. Hamster Rights, Cat Protection League or something like that. I could have a t-shirt with a picture of Beast's face on it. That would be good. And some cat ears or something like that. I'm not sure what they think I was being a bit silly, but I love cats. Cats are good. Especially when you've got in at 1 o'clock in the morning from a gig, and you climb into bed, and then the cat just sort of sits on you here with its paws on your face, purring because it's so pleased that you're back. That's how much I love cats. Ozenfant Backtrose says, I need another long run shoe. And considering, I love these questions, and considering Triumph 19 as a 20 should hit the streets soon, so I expect some nice deals. Or should I wait for the 20? I'll tell you, a long run shoe, why don't you go at the Energy X? I don't think you can go wrong with that one. For that purpose, I'm going to do the long run next week in the Energy X, and I reckon that will hit the spot. But yeah, the Triumph, I enjoyed the Triumph 17, I think it was I tried. That was a good long run shoe. But yeah, it depends if you want a little bit firmer. Otherwise, if you want some, a forgiving shoe that's got a little bit of pop to it, the Energy X all the way, I reckon. Obi-Wan Brand. To give me sent 8s today for the Birmingham half. Smashed 8 minutes off an old PB. Wow. 1 hour 22:09. Fantastic running. Great pair of shoes. As you say, they get better the more you use them. Yeah, it's like it's like those mattresses you get, those memory foam ones. You sleep on them a couple of times, you're like, why did I buy this new mattress? It's trash. Like, my back hurts, it's just not good. And then as you sort of get used to it, and then the mattress kind of becomes part of you, it really feels a lot better. That's, so it's like a mattress, a new mattress. Stephen C, fantastic. Yeah. I wouldn't turn up to one with one of those. Fantastic. Poirot says I'm on his TV. 65 inches. Oh my gosh, I'm not sure anybody wants to see my face. 65-inch, huge TV. I need to get a new TV. Actually, it's becoming unusable in terms of its smart features, which is the only thing we use it for. So yeah, it's just got so slow. I think over time, as they update the apps, they just can't handle it. And so I need to upgrade at some point, maybe soon. Rice says, if I was to design my dream shoe by taking existing technologies, what would be the upper midsole tech outsole, and what would it have a pull tab? Definitely no pull tab. It's very easy for me to say that one. It would have to be Zoom X and a combination of that and Light Strike Pro. So maybe Zoom X in the forefoot, Light Strike Pro in the heel. I'd go for a Zoom air unit in the forefoot, maybe something a little bit like the one that we've got in the Pegasus 39, so I can get more of a drop. Okay, so I've got Zoom X here and then a smaller Zoom unit. Do you see what I'm getting at here? So we've got a sort of like an Alpha Fly type thing, but with Light Strike Pro back here and more of a drop. And in terms of upper, what would I go for upper? I really like the upper on the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite, so I think I'd put that on there. It'd look horrific, wouldn't it? It'd be a terrible looking shoe. Oh, not outsole. I'd go for the one that we had on the RC Elite Original. That would be a dynamite shoe. I might have to do a video on that, putting all those things together. But yeah, so great question. Thanks for that one, Rice. Yeah, Stephen C giving OB1 brand a big up on that. That's a cracking time there, 1:22. Well done there. Orange Goblin says the Squire Fender Telly thin lines are absolute featherweight. Yeah, I played with a Telly last night actually. I have got a Bigsby on that, but it's so light, that Telly. I don't know why it's so light. It's like based on a 50s one. But I added the Bigsby because I like a little bit of the old vibrato. We've got a couple of minutes left, guys, before we say adios. Just try and answer a couple more questions. Darren Bray's into the Bourbons. Yeah, my wife likes those. They disappear quickly from the biscuit cupboard. Let's go. Steve O says, hi Ed, completed first half marathon today. Fantastic. And Gateshead up north there. The Adios Pro 2s did the trick. And rounded a great time, 1:37. Well done. Let's go, Steve O. Fantastic stuff. Darren says he remembers the time when I didn't like the Sen 8. Yeah, I'd love them now. Just got better and better. I didn't like him at the start, but I'm glad I persisted, and that's probably one of my favourite shoes, actually. Daryl Strong says, due to back issues, can't run anymore. Can you do a video on running shoes that are good for walking? Strange you should say that, because I've just finished a script on that very thing, sort of walking and sort of standing shoes, pretty much after I was thinking about the gig yesterday. So that will be coming up soon, Daryl. I'm sad you can't run anymore, though. That is a real blow, isn't it? Hearts go out to you on that one, buddy. Ole says, you've just been drafted into the military. Why is the one pair of all-round running shoes you are bringing? No flashy colourways allowed. Pegasus 39s. I would grab a pair of those. I think that will do the trick. It's a good all-rounder, a bit like Ian Botham, the famous footballer from Yeovil. Right, guys, I'm going to have to say adios now. It's the end of today's live stream. Thanks to all of you for coming in. Please hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and you're online watching this now, or not. In fact, you might be watching this retrospectively, and if so, do the same thing. That really does help us out a lot here at EDDBUD Running Shoe Reviews. Thanks everybody for tuning in today and commenting over here. It's been great. I've really enjoyed myself today. Get back to some live streams. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you. Oh, there's a video coming up in about 2 hours' time, so keep your eyes peeled if you want to try for one of the first comment medals.